A couple days ago, I was relaxing on the couch, scrolling on YouTube, then I came across the 360 Nationals Night 3 highlights. Wasn't sure if I was gonna watch it, I had never watched the 360 Nationals before. So after thinking about it, I decided to give it a try, and holy shit, what a race it was.
Brown will turn the car off of turn 4, it'll be a drag race to the checkers. Who's it gonna be? Brian Brown gets him at the line!
So today, I would like to go over all 3 nights of the 360 Nationals. So without further ado, let's get right into it. For the first prelim night, Aaron Reitzel would quickly make his presence known, jumping from 4th to 2nd in the first lap alone. After a caution on the 6th lap, Reitzel would start to have an amazing run on top of turns 1 and 2, before yet again another caution. Colby Copeland would continue to hold the lead on the inside, before hitting lap traffic on lap 14. Both Colby and Aaron would have trouble on turn 3, but luckily getting their momentum back.
Car gets upset, brings it back underneath him, holds on to second. Wow, what a save. How did he pull that one off?
On the next turn, Colby would leave the inside wide open for Reitzel to snatch the lead, and Sam Haverty would also take second place from Colby on the back stretch. For the rest of the race, Reitzel would hold the lead, winning the first night's feature, ending off the night with 486 points. For the following night, Zeb Wise would start on the pole, alongside Parker Price Miller, which he would have an amazing start, having some good separation from the pack on turn 2. But Brian Brown would also have a really good run, jumping from 5th to 3rd as he got to the back stretch. A lap later, he then passes Terry McCarl with a really good move on the outside of turn 4, then working a slide job on Parker Price Miller, taking the lead. May I remind you, this has only been the first 3 laps. Throughout the whole race, these two would go back and forth. Even with a total of 4 cautions that occurred that night, these two would still be fighting for the lead. On the last couple laps, Brian Brown would lose his momentum, which would secure the victory for PPM.
Parker Price Miller wins night number 2 in Knoxville. Brian Brown comes home second.
Both Aaron Reitzel and Brian Brown would be the top 2 in points, Aaron having a total of 486, setting him on pole position. Brian Brown would come short 5 points, but luckily for Blackjack, he had placed 5 spots ahead of PPM in the time trials, giving him those extra points that he really needed. Without these small differences, Brian would have most likely began in 4th for the final night's feature. And speaking of the final night, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. I'll just let the race speak for itself.
Showtime here in Knoxville! Field round to the front straightaway. Reitzel going to get the jump into turn number 1. Brown going to enter to the middle, brings it out to the cushion. Reitzel right in front of him now. They're going to swap lines to the back straightaway. Look out, we almost have a parking lot in the middle of turn number 2. 3 wide mid-pack. Reitzel going to win the battle into turns 3 and 4. Look down into turn number 1 and 2. Brown down to the top of turn number 2 for the second spot. Last night we saw this with Brown chasing the law firm, now chasing Aaron Reitzel, trying to upset the defending champion. Reitzel entered to the middle that time, brought it up to the cushion, keeps his momentum to the backstretch. How's it working in turn number 1? Brown took a look on the inside as Reitzel rode the outside line. A little over 2 seconds between himself and Brian Brown. A couple times he had to get on the binders pretty hard. Got to bring it down to 1.7 seconds. Goes back to find clean racetrack at the top of the speedway at the exit of turn number 2. Chase Randall was able to make it stick though, as your leader coming up on a pair of slower cars. That'll be the 2C of Wayne Johnson and the 7BC battling in front of him. Looks to the outside of Wayne, able to squeeze between him and the wall. Wayne Johnson pulls to the infield. We stay green. Your leader continuing to weave his way through traffic. That's Aaron Reitzel. He's on the top side in turn number 4. Brian Brown still running in the second spot. Garrett Williamson racing in that 3rd position. Tanner Holmes up into the 5th spot now. Oh, big slide by Sam Wise. They nearly touch in turn 2. He might have very well tapped the left rear trying to get on the binders, but what a save. Wow. As Reitzel finally clear of slower traffic. He has got a couple in between himself and the 21, but Brown brought it to under a second. Oh, car slowing right in front of Sanders. It's slowing right in front of your leaders. Oh, and Tanner Holmes off the throttle. Tanner Holmes pulling to the infield. Hits in the 18T. He'll stop and bring out the caution. Number 4, they'll bring it to the front straightaway. We go to green. Keep your eye on the 21 of Brian Brown. Goes all the way to the cushion. Reitzel going to slide himself. Brown with momentum. They're going to both equal out as they work to the back straightaway. Side with a short slide on the 24, exiting turn number 4. White flag is out though. Leader this time into turns 3 and 4. Through turns 3 and 4. Oh, big wreck in turn number 2. My goodness. Red. Big track in turn number 2. 4 down to the bottom. Brings it across the racetrack. Here's for the lead. Here comes Brown to the inside. Round to the white flag and 1 to go. Final time. They race off into turn number 1.
It's the final lap. Aaron and Brian are side by side on the back stretch. Aaron has led all 29 laps previous. All he has to do is hold off Brian through these next 2 turns and sail his way to his second ever 360 Nationals title. But what happens next will go down in history as one of the craziest finishes to ever happen at Knoxville Raceway.
Slides up across, Brown will turn the car off of turn 4, it'll be a drag race to the checkers. Who's it gonna be? Brian Brown gets him at the line. Brian Brown wins the 360 Knoxville National.
Brian had won by 0.02 seconds. Now that's a photo finish on another level. This would be his second ever 360 Nationals victory, and I have no doubt in my mind that this won't be his last. He currently sits second in most wins at Knoxville Raceway, right behind his uncle Danny Lazowski. This race would actually gather lots of attention even from people who didn't watch 360s. Last year's highlights of all 3 features would get a total of 48,959 views. This year's, on the other hand, would get 65,435 total views, and it'll probably go up even more next year. This moment has implemented itself into Knoxville Raceway's history, and it was also pretty cool hearing Brian say this after the race.
What you've done here.
Shit, I just won the win. That's for you, Jason Johnson.
But ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am very pleased with how it turned out. I am also planning on making one similar for the 410 Nationals because just like every other year, it was a very good race. And I highly suggest you guys go check out the highlights. This is Sprint Car Nation, and I'll see you guys next time.